So hello, welcome back to a new video interview. This time we have as well my friend Jay, and as our guest we have our friend Pamela. So welcome Pamela.
Hi, thank you so much.
Hi. So what's your disability or diagnosis? I don't know how to call it, maybe condition?
So I have a couple things. I have a spinal cord injury, but I also have occipitaneous albinism type 1A.
Can you explain more about it?
Sure. So albinism is a genetic disorder that in which your body does not produce melanin, which is another name for pigment.
Mm-hmm.
So in my case, I do not produce any pigment at all in my eyes, skin, or hair, which causes me to have like the white skin, white hair, but also causes me to be legally blind.
What are some of the struggles you face like on the daily basis, either with albinism or with your other type of disabilities?
I think like I have I'm in a wheelchair, so you know, the typical wheelchair things like accessibility and doing things sometimes just takes me longer or I have to have help with. But I'd say as far as with the albinism, it's a lot of like you take a lot of things for granted, people do. And like for me, for example, I was reading a book and they talked about barbed wire fencing. Well, I have never seen barbed wire before. So I'd ask my parents, and even though it's all around us, I just never got close enough to see it or could understand it. I think it also can be difficult at times to navigate, especially if you're in a new environment, just because you're reliant on your sounds and you know what you know about your surroundings. So
Sorry, I was muted. Can you tell us how did you became like legal blind, or if you've been always been legally blind?
of course. So albinism is a genetic disorder and you are born with it. So I was born legally blind.
Okay, so basically you have never seen, or you
Correct.
It's that
I
correct?
see to some extent, like I can still see colors, shapes, silhouettes, but I cannot see detail and I have no depth perception. I also have nystagmus with it as well.
So basically, you can see some things, but you don't see like that into detail, like many things, like so like.
Exactly.
Can you explain more about? Because I'm thinking that you can see my shape, but you don't see me like into colors and details and stuff. Is that correct, or it's not?
So I can see like your shape, I can see the different colors, but your like actual facial features or very smaller details, I just don't see. And the more light there is, the less I see. So like outside, out in the sun, or in very bright lighting, I'm completely blind.
Okay. Thanks for making that clear.
What is a story that you can share with your disability or diagnosis?
I think I will share one of the things that not many people have to think about, and that is navigation. So, of course, when you can't see, and that you use a blind cane, or the white and red stick people who are blind use to navigate. Well, also, I have to drive my power chair at the same time. So as my very last training, my orientation mobility specialist gave me a address, which was our local Dairy Queen. And I had to figure out how to get there. I had to figure out my route without any help. And I had to walk there by myself. They were within shouting distance, but they weren't allowed to help me. I had to do it all by myself. And it was nerve-wracking, but I did make it there safely, and did get ice cream at the end and for passing. So
that's great. So basically it was difficult, but at the end you made it.
Yeah, I think not many people realize how even small things like going out to the store or going for a walk can be very draining or be a lot more complicated, because you have to like listen for the cars and know which way the car is going. And I'm also driving a power chair with the other hand, so it's a lot of multitasking. So
I think it could be easy. It's not easy. Do you use any mobility aids? If so, how do they help you? And have you always used them?
yeah, so I wear first of all, I always wear dark glasses unless I'm sleeping. And they're a prescription, but it does help tremendously with the lighting. It allows me to see. I also use both a manual and power chair, and I've had my first manual chair when I was 3, my first power chair when I was 5. And it's my legs. It's how I get around, and I love them. And then I use many different types of software for my vision, as well as equipment. Some of them I've only had for a few months, while some of them I've used for many years. It just depends on which one I'm using and what's going to work for each scenario.
So basically you have to see what chair or what device helps you for every single moment of your day or any daily situation. Is that correct?
Yeah, so for example, there's times to where one type of magnifier works better than another type, or this magnifier only goes to this power and I need a little bit stronger, so I might have to switch to a different magnifier. Or using CCTVs, which I prefer.
What are those?
As well as also using computer software.
What are CCTVs? The ones you said?
Oh, so CCTVs are basically monitors that it's basically it's a magnifier, and it's just portrayed onto a screen so you can see it. There's many different types out there. Some of them are just one unit. Mine is more, the newest model is more portable and just connects to your computer.
How do you feel society treats people with disability?
I feel like, as far as the spinal cord injury, people are very understanding, but there are a lot of misconceptions with albinism, especially because a lot of people who have albinism are portrayed as bad guys in movies, etc. And it just, and not many people hear about it. So it's like there's a lot of stereotypes, and or they'll generalize it as something they've seen on TV when it's not even true. It's just a really lack of awareness and realizing that we're people too.
Or even could be dramatized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think albinism is less, not common, but as people, we don't talk as much of albinism than we talk about other type of conditions and other type of disabilities. It's right.
Yes. Yes, it is rare. So, not many people are going to see somebody with albinism, but they shouldn't let, one good example is in the movies, people with albinism have red eyes, which is a myth, because the reason that is because we have no pigment. So if there's any type of flash on a camera, you're actually seeing our blood vessels, which is why our eyes, we get red eye. But in reality, people with albinism have blue eyes and sometimes green eyes.
So it's not related to the color of the eyes, aside understanding.
Right. There's just many myths out there, and they think that, if if you have albinism, that you're mean, or, whatever, because that's what, the movies portray. And we're just people. We're just like everybody else, and we want to do things like everybody else.
Yeah, we're just like common people, just like everybody and else, just with not special, but just like with a condition.
How do you deal with bullying, whether it's in person or cyberbullying?
So,
Okay, go
okay.
ahead.
So for me, I didn't get too much bullying, but I would get more people that just didn't want anything to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's more of finding my tribe and finding the people that were going to stick with me.
Yeah.
And it took me until my freshman year of high school. But once I found my tribe, found out who was going to stay with me, things were smooth sailing.
How do you feel your disability has helped shape you as a person?
I feel like it's made me a lot more thankful for the things that I do have. as well as being thankful for like my mom who stays home to take care of me, and just also having a mentality of you know, you're just because you have challenges in your life, you can still do things. And when somebody tells you that you can't, or that you know, your disability is not going to let you, you can prove them wrong.
Yes. I like that. How do you if there was one thing you could tell yourself when you were younger, what would it be and why?
I think when I was younger, just telling myself that it's a really hard one for me, but just that don't let your peers influence you. Just because they don't want to be with you doesn't mean that you're not going to find your tribe, or you're not going to you know, find the people that you're going to have fun with or whatever, because you will. And you know, I do go to sports camps and that, but it's different to have people that what I call able-bodied. So
or even I think you're right on that. I think people, especially in wheelchairs, have it the hardest because of that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because we're perceived as different, yes, but we're perceived as mentally ill or strange or whatever, right?
Or in my school system, I couldn't do Special Olympics because it was only for mental disabilities. And I don't have a mental disability. I have severe physical disabilities. So
what is the most traumatic?
What is the most traumatic like thing or event that has happened to you related to your and with to any of your disabilities?
I'd say it's happened actually on 2 occasions. But in 5th grade and my freshman year, I was bedbound because of pressure sores. And those were really rough. I think the first time I was bedbound for 6 months flat on my back, and the second one for 5 months.
Whoa,
and
that's
just
a long time.
Yes. And I had problems with the school because they said that I was exempt from everything, just get better. And then all but one class is incomplete because they said I didn't do my assignments. So that was my freshman year. And then in 5th grade, I also had to try to try to keep up with schoolwork while feeling not the best. But it was mainly my freshman year. That was the hardest one because of the incompletes. But I was able to get some tutors, and I was doing like 2 semesters at once, and I ended up with a 4.0 in both semesters. And just, showing them that, hey, I'm able to do it. Just give me time. But no, that was very difficult.
Yeah, cause you can do things, but you just need like time to do them. Like you
Yeah,
did
especially when you're
do
flat on your back.
yeah, you did do things slowly. You were saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also with the vision, it just takes me longer to do things in general. So what may take someone 1 hour may take me 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
So just give me a little bit extra time, but I'm just as capable as everybody else.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. Everybody needs the time to make things. So, how do you deal with fear of judgment, like putting yourself out there, out of the world, out in the world?
Um, I don't really like have a fear just because it's who I am, and a lot of times when people judge, it's just because they either don't have the facts or the proper facts, or they simply just bully or try to belittle you just because they can't do what you're doing. And so for me, just to share my story and, knowing that, one, I make impact on other people, and I might be able to help someone else who may be going through something similar that I went through, or help show people that, you can do things, is kind of like takes that fear away of being judged or worrying about what others think, because it's not about what they think, it's about what you want to achieve.
Yeah. I think it's about not letting your disability control you, or
Yes.
not let fear control you.
What's one thing people can learn and benefit from your disability?
I think one thing is just take things for granted, because there's a lot of things that, for example, that I don't see or whatever, that, even my parents were like, they're like, whoa, wait a minute, she's never really seen that. Like barbed wire fences, ditches, just stuff like that. Like I've never, I guess I know what they are now, but when I was growing up, because I don't see it, my parents just assumed, and it was just one of those things of taking something for granted when someone else struggles or may not understand what you're talking about.
And just to finish this with a good question, what's one thing you wish people know and accept about people with disabilities, any kind?
Just, I think people should understand that we're all different, and all we want is to be accepted for who we are, and not to be judged just because of what they hear or what other people have told them. Like, judge the person for who they are and their personality, not
Yes.
by their ability.
So thank you so much for wanting us to do this interview with you, and even you for talking about these things. So do you want to say something before we're finished, before we're done?
I just wanted to say thank you guys for everything and allowing me to talk about some of these things. So maybe there's other people out there that could benefit from it.
Everyone can benefit from other people. Anything you want to say at last, Tiff?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, so we're done for today. So videos will come every weekend. So if you like this video, please give it a like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.